If everybody stopped putting the effort into all that, those eBay hacks, they'd probably sell more. So here's another video. Got what sold? Got 21 cards sold on eBay overnight. Got a special topic. Amish postcards. Kind of going with my theme here I've been doing with different topics. I did Masonic, I did post offices. I was listing some Amish postcards and I went back and looked and I don't sell that many of them. Maybe this will help me understand a little bit more. Then I have a poll that I put out, and this is probably first of the year, but it's an important poll. What is your biggest hurdle in reselling postcards? I wasn't too surprised with what was found with this poll, but I think this channel can help with some of those. Some of them I can't help, but we'll talk about that and some of the comments that came in. It was interesting, but it wasn't that far off to what I was thinking. I think we all have the same struggles. Then I got some viewer comments to go over at the end, so you want to stick around there. Now with the cards that sold, I sold 21 postcards, but I also sell the plastic sleeves, the mylar sleeve, the soft sleeves that you put on standard postcards. I bought like 3 cases. I got like 2 cases. I got 20,000 postcards or sleeve sitting here and 200 packets. So I said, you know what, I'll throw some online, a little bit above my cost. I don't make a lot of money out of them. Everybody uses them. And Boldly Grow Pickers just bought 7 lots of those, so 14 packs of the 100 packs out there, and that order was $56. Now he did get combined shipping discount, and I took that out that price. So I do have the sleeves out there. I have them in the Ko-Fi store. If you're a member of Ko-Fi, you get 40% off. Almost give the things away. I don't make a lot of money on stuff like that. I just buy them by the case from my wholesaler, and I buy like 3 cases at a time and just get them shipped to me, and I get them at the price. And I thought I would share to help people out. So check out SMPostcard.com and you'll see the listings for those. So that was $56 of it. Let's get into the postcards and see what we sold in postcards. This card, I looked at it and I think I should have brought it up a little bit, but I know I did a comp on this and there was a lot of them out there. But look at that, that looks really nice, a linen card with all that coffee shop stuff. It sold for $4 to $5. I wouldn't have passed that up. So I probably will go back and see what the comps were on that card. Maybe I could have got a couple extra dollars. New Orleans coffee shop, but New Orleans, it's probably pretty prevalent out there. So that sold $4 to $5. Next one was out of the special albums that I bought, that one video where I bought those 8 albums. This sold for $5.55, and I'll be doing an update on that pretty soon, where I'm at with it, on the dollars and how long it takes to sell those. But this was a pumping station on Nut Island, Hughes, near Quincy, Massachusetts. Divided back card. It's a pump station, and this sold for $4.50 or $5.55 on there. The next one I got is 2 cards. This gentleman bought 2 cards. The print, the USS Ranger CVA 61. It's one of those ones that the club printed. And then he bought the publish. Now this card was done by a publisher, because there's the publisher's name on there. It was E-Boy or Sim Valley, and he bought the Ranger ship of that card. It's a brand new card. I got like 80 of these left in my store, and I think I got some cases in the closet of that one too. Next card was kind of special, and you want to look for these types of cards, these types of postcards. This is one, Do You Wish to See? It's an advertising postcard for a computing scale company in Detroit, and I'll show you that here, and it sold for $14.98. That's what it looks like. It's got a little pictures and some stuff on there, but on the back is what I put in the title. Stimson Computing Scale Company. I looked up the company and stuff, and it's, I don't think it was any longer there if I remember right, but that's an older card. But look, it's someone in their antique put $2.50 on there. Never go by those prices. You never know when on there. But that sold for $15 basically. Next one was kind of a different card. It sold for $5.65. This is the guy that created the comic strip, and that's what I put in the title. Vertical card. This guy created the comic strip. Unused Chrome card. Sold for $5.65. Next one, this guy bought 11 cards. And we'll go through these pretty quick here. Let me get it organized so I don't mess them up this time. After the video, I usually pack them up, and sometimes I make a mess of things. So the first thing he bought was San Antonio, Texas. Some wishing well. I think it's at the Governor's Palace. I listed a whole bunch of Texas yesterday, and this is another one, the rose window. Right there, that's that famous rose window on that church in San Antonio, Texas. That sold part of it. This is some Spanish singer right there. San Jose Mission. Unposted card. This one is the same San Jose Mission. It's probably got the rose window up there. San Antonio, Texas. Unposted. Chrome card. Next one is the James Scott Memorial Fountain by Illuminations, Belle Isle. Belle Isle is something, I've been doing a lot of Detroit cards. I bought a lot of those from the Mary Martin thing because I needed Michigan and I didn't have a lot of Detroits, and they popped up, so I purchased a whole bunch of them. And this is a linen card of that unposted. He bought that one. Remember, he bought 11 cards here. This is the Empire State Building. This is that red border one. I've sold this before. It's got that red border linen card. Doesn't have the blimp on there, the Zeppelin, but if it did, it'd be more. Unposted. So he went from Texas to Detroit, and now he's working on New York. So he's shopping the store. And this is the Hotel Edison. Now he's in New York, and he got a chrome card, and this was posted in 1963 of a hotel in New York. So now he's working up in New York. Then he decides to go, I think this is up in Maine. He bought a moose. It's a watercolor painting of a moose. Big old moose. So he went from buildings to missions to moose. So he's shopping in there. And then he decided to get some flowers. Vertical card. I think this is Kansas. State flower in Kansas. So now he went out to Kansas and he bought that card. Unposted chrome card. Out of 11 cards. And then he went back prehistoric. And Boulder Groves were like this. He bought some Brontosaurus dinosaurs from Disneyland, and this sold $5 to $6 on this one, on there. Now he did get the volume discount because he bought more than 3 cards or whatever. And this is the Moose, the Loyal Order of the Moose, Williamsport, Pennsylvania, linen card. So he's back to the lodges. So he bought 11 cards from me last night for $53.75. Now these will get packed up together, and I'll put them in one of those boxes and send it out first class on there. I don't put insurance on there. I self-insure myself because 11 cards, I got a nickel a probably in these cards. I got 50 cents, 60 cents into these. I'm not concerned about that. Now, if it was $600, that's a different story. But I haven't had a bigger order like that in a while, and it was kind of nice that came in. Next card I sold is Museum of Science, Boston, Massachusetts, a Hopi Indian Village. It's like a diorama. Sold between $4 and $5. Next one is Lobster's Wharf, Booth Bay, Maine. Lobster's Wharf, and this was posted in 1970, $4 to $5. Nice chrome card. Right before the video, I pulled this one. This one and the next one sold right before the video. This is a view on the Hudson River by the Bend in New Jersey, and this sold for $5.55. Under by the back card, just a Hudson River view. And then this gentleman asked if I would sell this card for $3.75. I looked at it, it's a chrome card of a piece of meat. And what I do is I look at the SKU number. Yeah, it's been in there for a while. In the boxes, heck yeah, piece of meat for $3.75. Didn't make a lot on it, but it's been sitting unposted, piece of meat. Get it out of here. He's happy, I'm happy. And I move cards. Sometimes it's not the dollars. You got to move the cards, move the inventory, get what you got, and reuse it on there. So the total was 21 postcards, which equals $120. A little rounding here and there just to make sure it's even. $120. And then I sold 14 packs of sleeves and 2 bundles of 7, and that was $56. So a total overnight of $176. I can tell you, yesterday, going into about 3 o'clock, I had 1 postcard sold. And I woke up basically to today, and what came right before the video, I think the sleeves came right before the, is $176. So just because eBay does this, don't worry about that 1 day, 2 days. You want to look at a trend, like a week or something. You know, hold back some money for those to ride the wave. I wasn't getting worried. I went and did something else. I didn't have to pack anything. Yeah, I wasn't making money, but it's kind of nice sometimes when you don't have to pack anything. But went to bed last night, a few cards more sold, but overnight they sold. Make money while you sleep. That's what sold. Amish postcards, special topic. Are they worth anything? We're going to get to that. But I found a little history on the Amish. I needed to educate myself a little bit more about the Amish and what I've heard and stuff. And I didn't get real deep. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the web you can read about them in books. But I'll try to give you some of the top things. And while I do that, I'll show you some of the postcards I pulled out, images of Amish postcards that I've seen or sold. What is Amish? What is Amish? Some people are very confused. The members of a strict Mennonite sect that established major settlements in Pennsylvania, Ohio, around Lancaster mostly, and elsewhere in North America from 1720 onward. So they were a sect of the Mennonite, but they they broke to a different thing. In the late 1600s, the Swiss Anabaptists split into the Mennonite and Amish branches. So they split. Today, Mennonites are more assimilated with the rest of society. They have specific churches, but don't live in communities. They use technology and cars, and though they also dress plainly, their clothes is less distinguishable than the Amish garb. So you can notice the Amish, they have that special dress and stuff. Mennonites are more 21st century. You know, they're adopting the technology. One of the things I found that I put on here, Amish people do not have insurance. They believe this would go against the belief of God's will. They do not have health insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid. They'd rather, if they have a problem with their teeth, I read, they would rather pull out basically a tooth with a cavity. If the tooth is still healthy, they'd pull the tooth out instead of getting it fixed. And a lot of them want to just have all their teeth taken out and dentures instead of dealing with the dental stuff. When it was required that homes in the U.S. install smoke alarms, the Amish refused, again stating it's God's will. There will be a fire. Then there is nothing that can be done. They don't want to place faith in a man-made device. Some Amish communities have fought legal battles to protect their rights to refuse the use of smoke alarms. I guess they want to show a precedent there. You know, I don't mind people's opinions and the way they do things, but when people push things on me, that's where I have a problem with it. I have my own beliefs and stuff like that, and I don't say that Amish are wrong or right. It's just what they believe in, and they don't push that on me, so I don't have a problem. They have great restaurant food, I can tell you that, and they make great furniture, and they're nice people. I don't have a problem with the Amish at all on there, but the opinions and how people do things, that's their decision. That's why we're individuals. Amish dislike having their pictures taken and it is seen as disrespectful to them. I heard about that, and that's what I was looking for, that line right there, because postcards have pictures of them. Now, they don't have a problem really with posed pictures. Some communities have accepted posed pictures. It's when people walk up to them and take a picture on the road and stuff is what's disrespectful, is how I read it. So the postcards are more posed, I think, so that is acceptable to some. The Amish of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania is the oldest settlement in the country. They arrived in the area in the 1720s. Plainness is the governor of Amish clothing. Some groups are restricted to black and white, while others allow muted colors. Buttons are frowned upon because they're potential for ostentation. Not for sure what that word is. And such things as Velcro and zippers are banned. Sounds like eBay. Velcro. You don't say the word Velcro. in anything on eBay. You say hook and latch because you will get a zero and your item taken down. If anybody doesn't know that, it only does postcards, but if you sell something and you put Velcro in the word, or another word is Lego, or another one is onesie. So the word is Vero, V-E-R-O, is their verified program you want to check out. Just go out there on the web and type in eBay Vero and you'll get some information. So you want to be careful about name brands. I had a Bozo trade card. And in the title of this 1960s card, it said, Bozo's got milk, or something. The term got milk is trademarked by the Milk Association, whatever, and I got a message that I was against that, and I had to take that item down, which I did. I removed that little Bozo card that said got milk. That's how strict things are. That's about the only Vero I've ever gotten. But you want to be careful with Velcro. But such things as Velcro and zippers are banned in the Amish. Instead, clothes are fastened by pins or hook and eye closures. Slightly smarter clothes such as capes are used for religious services. So that's a little bit about the Amish in that. And I've seen them using cash registers and stuff like that. So there's different levels, I think, of how radical or how deep they go into their religious beliefs and to make a living. You can't just turn your head to everything and still survive. And I think they probably do struggle in some areas with that on there. I think there's a point that you need to come to the 21st century as we evolve as a human race and our societies grow. Sometimes you have to move with it just to survive and free yourself up of some of the burden on there, like having a horse do your plowing when you can have a tractor do it. My grandpa, my mom told me, had a big plow horse, and he had a 2-row or 1-row plow, and it was up and down, up and down, up and down, hooking up the horse. And then he finally got a tractor, and he was done in a day. So modern technology, I believe, helps. Some people think it hurts, but that's why we evolve and make things easier and do things. So but the Amish are cool. It's a different type of society, and they've made it work. But what about these postcards? Do they sell? Well, little gauge I use is called sell-through rate, and it's a very simple thing I do. I don't go in and take all the stuff out and make sure it's 100%. I just do a quick, go into eBay, type in postcard space Amish, and I type in, find out, I hit the sold, I write that number down, then I unclick that and I see all the cards that are listed, and then I take the sold divided by listed and I times it by 100, and that makes it a percent, and it gives me a percent. And when I did that for the postcard Amish, there was 258 sold, 7,200 listed. I thought there would be more. Times 100 gives you a 4% sell-through rate. Now when you get a percentage, I can't put that up against everything, clothing, bread makers, shoes. You're not apples for apples. So I went out there and I have a whole sheet of the states and stuff like that to compare what 4% means in the postcard world. So if you look at it, Idaho with 11,000 cards listed is at 9%. So that's kind of like the top of the rung. The Weeki Wachee Mermaids are 40. Disney's I think 12. McDonald's is 22. So those are the outliers, but most of the time you're going to see 9 or 8%. So Idaho is one that you want to, has a good sell-through rate out there, 9%. Nevada's 8%. California is 6%, and Massachusetts is 4%, and I know New Hampshire's in the 4 area too. This is the Amish are 4%, so it's on the lower rung of the sell-through rate. So if you get a lot of Amish cards, you know they're going to sit. It means they don't sell as fast as Idaho. Now some of that, there might be 1 or 2 Amish cards that do sell, and this also with RPPCs and stuff like that. The RPPCs you can get more money for over the Amish ones. I saw some of them out there, but I usually don't use it in these calculations that much because they're outliers. You can get a lot more money and it throws the averages off, but RPPC Amish I would not shy away from for sure, the older ones. But But 4% is not a real good sell-through rate. They will sell, but they're not going to sell that often. So if you're looking through a box of postcards and there's like a whole quarter of it is Amish, you want to bring that price down per card, because they will sit in your inventory. I know that from mine, Amish ones. When I see an Amish card, I know I'll list it, but I know I'm not going to sell it in the first 30 days, most of the time. But then sometimes people come in and they're doing a project for school or something. They'll buy 10 Amish cards. They're doing some project or something. You'd never know. But 4% is the average. I also went in and I look at the pricing. I look at the sold high, the sold low, list high and list low. And that gives me a well-rounded what people are doing with these cards out there and where I need to be if I was going to list them. So the sold high, I found 3 of them here. First one is a Dutch Haven Amish, $12, Bronx, Pennsylvania. Now, I did find another one of these cards that sold for less in an auction for like $1. So this person here did their homework, and the other person put them in an auction to see if they get it. I would do it this way. I don't do auctions that often, if at all. But this is like a little coffee shop place. You'll see this card out there, but if you see this card here, it's sold for $12. And then you get into the multi-view here of an Amish cooking cafe, $11, and then you got some ladies there, Friends, Quakers, 1910 card. So the older Amish do better than the chrome ones with the wagons and stuff, and you can tell the difference with those. But this one sold for $9. Then you get over to the low and you got these people. I mean, this whole group of Dutch country things, it was in an auction bid. They started at 50 cents. They got one bid. It sold for 50 cents. Then you got the Amish man with a horse and buggy, chrome postcard, $1.57, free shipping. Then you got 2 gentlemen there, which, or 2 Amish, I think girls, my little thumbnail's real small here, with ice skates. And they're skating, it looks like an older card a little bit. Only sold for $1.38. I would have pushed that card, got the keywords in the title, or whatever, but with ice skates on there, it's got a lot of things going on. I think they could have got more for that card on there. So that's about where the price is. The highs that are selling, $8 to $10. The lows, people just ain't doing their research. And that's what people ask me. So, well, if you sell your cards low, do you think it'll hurt the market? There's over 7 million cards on eBay. I can't hurt the market. They're going to sell what the people want. They buy it by the picture more than anything. So a lot of these cards I can go out to auctions and have to wait 7 days to get it. The guy ships it in a plain envelope, no protection. With me, you get free returns for as long 60-day free returns, no questions asked. I ship in 1 day. It's protected in a nice envelope with the Mylar sleeve, and I'll refund you if you don't get it. You're always protecting my order. Those other guys, you sell for $1, you might not get that. That's the difference. I think it makes a whole difference on there. Then we get into a listed high. I'm not for sure what's going on here, but you got a Chrome card that picture needs help. I mean, look at that picture. It's just laid there. It's not zoomed in. It needs help, and you're selling it for $50. Why would someone buy that over the next picture below that, which is nice, you can see and stuff like that? Pictures need help. You can get closer with a camera on your phone if you don't have a scanner. But $50 for a Pennsylvania card, cow farm, country, Amish, I don't see it with that one. I didn't see any comps for it. Circa 1960, harvest time, local community, $30. That card I've seen. I've sold that card. I've seen that card. It's not that uncommon. It's not a $30 card. Next one is barn and raising after a fire, barn raising. Could be a thing, but it's a Chrome card, a newer one. That is not a $30 card to me. I've never sold that card. I've seen it listed out there, but to me, there's nothing here. There's no older ones. These are not $30 cards to me. These are your newer 60s Chromes and stuff like that. unless someone tells me a difference. But I do not find these types of Amish cards sell for that type of money, so they're going to have a hard sell on that. Hope they didn't buy them for that much. Then you get the low end of stuff. Then you got an auction here, 50 cents. They got one bid and $1 shipping. It's not worth the time. Start the auctions. If you're going to do auctions, I always recommend start it with what you want. If I was doing auctions, mine would start at $4.65 for a card like that. If it sells, fine. If it doesn't, I put it as a buy and I change it to a buy it now. That's my bottom number that I need for a postcard. Then you got the Heart of Amish. It's just a white barn, $1.75. But here's those girls again, 25 cents. And I kept that there, and the other one sold for $1.38. And this one's got ice skates too, and that's for 25 cents. They're not going to get it. The Amish are not, postcards are not that in demand. I wouldn't even auction them. I don't, if I didn't have what I had, I probably wouldn't list that many more. And some of them I don't list. They don't sell that well. But the older ones I will do definitely. Or if they have like the ice skates here, or the horse and buggy. But I'm not going to price them way up there. They're not that special in the chromes. That's my recommendation with the Amish cards. Be careful with them. As you've seen in with the I got the YMCA one coming up. You got post office. I got courthouses coming up. Or you went through, you saw all those. They're not in high demand, but some towns might be. And that's the same with the Amish. If you find that one. Most of my Amish ones I don't even research. I just put them up $4 to $5. If someone finds a gem in there, so be it. I just know 1 out of 100 cards might be worth something. I made my money on the 99 that I put up pretty quick and didn't spend a lot of time with. So that's Amish postcards. If anybody has more to add about the Amish, would be great. I think it's understanding their culture and their beliefs is pretty cool. I get interested in stuff like that to understand how they do things. Like the health insurance. I never knew they didn't have health insurance. Do they pay taxes? I'd have to look and see. Because I don't think so if they're working on the farms and stuff. So, because I was always wondering how the government got in with the Amish and stuff like that. Not that I'm going to spend nights and nights researching. I'm not writing a book on them. But it's just interesting to understand how they do things different to us. Who knew? Now the poll. I put out polls on Saturday mornings. They for pre-scheduled. I got a whole bunch out there scheduled already. And they're just real fast questions that deal with a lot of struggles or different things with postcards. This one was, what is your biggest hurdle in reselling postcards? I thought this was an important poll to find out what the struggles we had. And what I know in the reselling world, I put 4 things out here. One is finding inventory. 24% said, and there was 88 people that voted on here. So 24% said they have issues with inventory. Time. Time is the biggest one, and that's where I thought it would be. Time. Finding time to list postcards. 40% said that's their biggest hurdle. Knowledge. 23%. I thought that one would be a little higher, but it's still in the where I thought it would. None of this really shocked me. And then buyers. People have an issue. I put that in there because I've noticed from the toy world and some of the other things I sold, compared to postcard buyers are a lot more patient, kind, you want to say, humble. They'll work with you. I don't hear a lot from them. They leave feedback, I'll tell you that. If you're selling postcards, you get feedback. And most of the time it's pretty good. So that 8%, I think that's probably higher than what I was thinking. And then other was 6%. Let me break this down quick. Finding inventory and sourcing. They're out there. There's billions of postcards out there. You just got to look. Now, this last year, I drove all the way out to Massachusetts to a flea market, and I found 10,000 postcards. Are they the high-end stuff? No. But I found one postcard I sold for $1,900. Does that happen to everybody? No. You don't want to chase those. They'll just show up if you're chasing the average. But I got 10,000 average postcards. maybe 6,000 are sellable. The other ones I'll lot up and sell at the flea market or whatever. But I didn't pay much for them. So I got a bunch to go through. So I got out and I found them. I go to antique shop. I go to auctions. You've seen videos where I went to auctions and I bought albums. I paid up a little bit, but I stayed pretty much under 50 cents a card on everything. And then my latest video, I went down to Nashville and bought Daniel's backstock of 55,000 postcards for 8 cents a piece. They're out there. You just got to go out and find them. There's lots on eBay. My goal this year was not to buy any cards, as much as possible, from online. I wanted cards that never were on eBay or online sellers. I wanted to get private collections and stuff, and I did that. I'm set for a while. I don't have the problem anymore with finding inventory. I have enough to keep me busy for a while. Now, if something pops up at an auction, an album for 60 bucks or something like that, will I buy it? Sure. That'll just be another part of the stack. Am I going to go crazy and buy another 50,000 cards? No. I won't do that until I get this pile down. But finding inventory, it's out there. And you just got to make sure you get it for a good price and get some backstock. I don't see a real problem with finding postcards that much if I'm looking for them. I will travel. I will look at antique malls. I'll pay up sometimes, but they're out there. Time. I'm lucky. I'm retired, as you know, and I can do whatever I want. Some people have a full-time job. They got kids. They got other things in time. Time is tough. Set a goal that you can meet. I set a goal this year of listing 50 a day. Right now in January and February, I'm having a hard time meeting that 50 because I have a lot of things like my grandkids come over and stuff like that. They're more important than this, or family functions or stuff like that. So I don't know if 50 is going to be the goal that I can keep this year. I'm going to try, but I'm slowing down a little bit, and I think I need to go down to about 30 or 40. I think I'd be more comfortable. I don't want to spend all day, all morning listing postcards. I have enough listed. I understand that. And so you just got to set it. If you can only do 10 a day average, doesn't mean you have to do 10 every day. You can do 50 for the week. And everybody talks about the algorithms and stuff like that. If you're listing 10 a day, you shouldn't be worried about the algorithms. Just worry about listing. If everybody stopped putting the effort into all that, those eBay hacks, they'd probably sell more. They need to just go out and get inventory. You can only put so much lipstick on a pig, and it's still a pig. People aren't buying some stuff because it's a pig. It's not worth it. You keep moving it around, changing things, throwing on sale, go get some new stuff and stuff like that. That's what I think about time. But time is something I can't really help with. I can't really help with the inventory much. I can help you with what I look for. I can show you what I look for and how I do it. Maybe I'll help you. Time, it's how you listing in inventory, stuff like that. If you do a lot of research that you shouldn't have to do on Chrome cards or stuff, I put them in. I have ranges. My bottom range is 465. If I can't put a card up for that, then I don't list it. It goes to the flea market. 465, 565, 765, 865, 1265. It falls in one of those buckets. If it's over 1265, it goes in a special folder, and I research it later on. I don't get stuck there, so I get through there. So those are the buckets I fall in. I'm not worried about losing a quarter. I'm not going to go out there and comp it and get all these different things. So how I could show you what I do with time. I think of it as sourcing, going to auctions and stuff. I like to have backstock so I don't have to go chase it down when I don't feel like it or whatever. 2 is I don't do a lot of sorting and stuff like that. I do it when I list them. Some people want to sit there and go through them all and all that work ahead of time. That's fine. You either do it there or you do it the other place. But I don't do it that way. And that's all I can do is show you what I do. I don't tell people how to do their systems. Another thing, if you don't have a scanner, scanners have speed up a lot of people's life once you get serious about it. Scanners are a lifesaver. Thermal printers are a lifesaver. That's the time. Your inventory system, how do you have it set up? That can be a time saver. All the different pieces from touching postcards. I do not want to touch the postcards less as possible. I touch them when I buy them. I touch them when I list them. I touch them, or touch them when I buy them, touch them when I scan them, touch them when I list them, and then touch them when I sell them. So basically 4 times. If you're touching these cards 10, 12 times, you got an issue. Now there is some cards you will touch. Those are the special folder ones. Those are ones you really want to look at. But these common cards like this one, this is the Boston Old North Church. How many of these cards you think are out there? You think I'm going to comp this card? No. It's a $465, $4 to $5 card. Old North Church. It says 1909 posted. It's still, there's a lot of these out there. I don't sell that many Boston, Massachusetts. The sell-through rate for Massachusetts is 4%, and this is the Old North Church. There's so many different variations. Now, if that was an RPPC, different story. But that card there, I know, I'm not going to race and try to get every dollar out of it. It's just going to be an average card sold. So that's where you can save time. Knowledge. That comes with experience. Skill is experience, is time. The more you do something, the more you'll learn. I have a lot of videos here. Popeye has a lot of videos. Julie, all these different YouTubers you can learn. There's books. Just looking at people's stores. There's so much you can learn if you take the initiative and do it. No one can hand the experience or skill to you. You have to go out and get it. I have 170 videos or more here. Can show you about the different types of cards to pique your interest or give you that little bit of knowledge to get you up the hill. But once you make it to the top, it's pretty smooth sailing with postcards. You start knowing that this is a divided back just the way it looks. I knew this was an early 1900 card, just the way it looks and the way it feels. You can feel that. You know, I know cards like this don't sell that well. That's an average card. They're romance cards. I just don't do well with them. Some people do. I don't. So I know it's going up $4.55, $4.60, $4 to $5. Someone else can do the more research on it if they want to. I can't, and you can't do everything. So, but your knowledge on there, just know your errors, know the cards, don't look too deep. A lot of times I'm just writing what's on the card as the title. I don't get into all that other stuff. It slows you down. And buyers are easy. You got a nickel in this card and they don't like it, tell them to keep it and refund them, get the insurance back, or whatever you want to do. I don't have that many refunds or returns with postcards. So that might be some of the things in there, but everybody has the same hurdles as you. I have time issues because I got other things I want to do, and I'm over here listing 50 cards. God, I could be doing that. I could be doing that, you know. So don't do what you can on there. A lot of comments came in. Rye said inventory is easy to find, but quality inventory that sells faster and for more can be more of a challenge. Also, finding more time to list. I think we all have that problem. Yes, what I just talked about. But finding those top dollar cards, you're going to pay up for them unless you get them in a lot or something like that. If you're looking for your average cards, the other ones are going to fall. You're going to see them. I see them all the time. When I'm looking for my average Chrome, divided back down to Chrome cards, I see the other stuff. And I'll pick that up as well. Sandra says, my biggest hurdle of reselling postcards is me. So she's her worst enemy, just like all of us. It's probably our own worst enemy. Boldly Grow Pickers, it has been time, but the duplex scanner has considerably improved my listing speed. Yes. When you reach to a level where you want a duplex scanner, they're a time saver. You can put a stack of 20 in there and they can all scan within a minute, front and back, and your photos are right there. You don't have to worry about it. No camera, no downloading. It just goes right to your computer. I've also started using some eBay templates. Yeah, if you're filling out the same stuff all the time. I use eBay templates. Some people use 6-bit. Whatever works for you. My eBay templates, I probably got 12 of them. I got them for boat prints, boats, photos, 8x10s. Then I have a lot of the same stuff filled out. So I might only have to click 3 of the boxes instead of 10 of the boxes. I put the word postcard space at the title to start the title, so I don't have to type postcard every time in the template. All that stuff adds up, but A lot of people get too in depth with it, and it takes more time to fix their templates than it does what they're saving. So there's a point of diminished returns with stuff. You still got to type in listed. Just reinventing the mousetrap. People have been posting postcards for years. If there was an easier way, they would have done it already. Still unsure of his knowledge. I don't think so. People get down on themselves not knowing stuff because they compare themselves to others. But sometimes you'd be surprised how much you really know. There's stuff here that I find, like with the Amish cards, I find stuff about Amish or postcards or some of the other titles I did. I do those videos because I want to learn. There's always something to learn and knowledge. And with postcards, there's a lot. But you'd be surprised what you know if you started talking postcards with somebody, just how much people really you do know. So don't get down on yourself. But thanks, Rye, Sandra, Boldigro. Russell S., my biggest hurdle is research time. I want to make sure I have all pertinent and key info in my title and description. It takes time to research each card. You might want to pull back on some of that. Get your keywords in there and get them up there. A lot of people don't read. They're going to look at the picture, look at the price, look at the shipping, and buy it. Your hardcore collectors will look a little deeper, but I think you should target a wider audience, and that's your impulse buyers or people just looking to add something to their collections, or they lived in that town and stuff like that. Some people can get analysis paralysis, is another name that people call it. A lot of people try to, like when they're selling a toaster, they want to put everything total in the description. People have probably already Googled that toaster. And then go on Amazon and look for it too and get all the information and stuff. When I'm looking for postcards, I just basically look at the postcard and look at the price, as long as it shows up. So, but I would be careful if you're over on research time and it's taking you too long. I hope those cards are higher value that you're spending all that time on. The $4 to $10 Chrome cards, I probably would not. I would get the basic information and move on. Get the basic information. Then when you get that special one, spend the time because you can get a bigger return. But your Chrome cards, unless it's very special, I wouldn't spend as much time as some people do on the research. RPPCs and stuff like that, that's a whole different animal. You want to get that because you paid up probably for them. Jim Lloyd, finding good quality cards for reselling is a challenge. It's out there. You got to fight for it. You got to go find them. There's billions out there. You can find them. You just got to hunt for them and sometimes pay up on them or get the name out there. Stuff like that. So thanks, Jim and Russell. Terry Larson, finding the right kind of inventory. What is the right kind of inventory? Are you looking for the high stuff, the average stuff, low stuff? You gotta target your audience. That's what I do. I don't tell people what to do. I don't like doing that. I just tell you what I do. I target average cards divided back to Chrome. That's what I'm looking for, is that middle ground right there. Stuff. If the other things pop in, that's fine. But I'm not going to buy a box of post offices or courthouses. I'm going to buy a good mixture. I'm not going to buy a box of New Hampshire, Massachusetts. I'll buy a box of Idaho or Texas, but I know in my store what I need. Like I bought 700 Texas. My Texas category was very low. I needed to get some Texas. And as you saw in the first of the video, I sold some Texas. So you want to target what you're looking for. If you're going out there with a wide net, you got to kind of bring it in a little bit, but also you don't want to just look for the top ones. People have already picked through them. Look for private collections. Get your name out there that you're looking for postcards. You'd be amazed what people can pull out of their attic. Making sure the number I designate corresponds with that card. Yes, inventory system. Even though I have all the numbers on there and stuff, once in a while I might have to track a card down because I didn't put it back in the right spot. When I shuffled the cards around, it slid to the bottom. I have the same struggles as everybody else. I'm not saying my system's 100%, but if you don't have a system, you better get one if you're going to get serious about postcards, because they will grow and you will change your inventory up. I did it 3 times. I tell everybody that. You will change. From experience, I changed 3 times. And now I'm to a point where I'm just going to stick with what I got. There's too many. It isn't worth time to do that. And for me. But if you're still smaller and you got time to fix some quirks that you have, created in your system, do it. Do it now on there. But yeah, that's a big one. But I thought of the struggles on there. Don't make goals that you can't hit. Still have a life. You don't have to work 24 hours a day doing this. I don't. I've slowed down this year. I've cut my hours. I cut my expenses. I think 50 cards a day, I think I need to cut that down. I don't want to stand here for 8 hours a day doing this. I don't need to at this time. If you need to do it, that's a different story. Everybody has different needs. But make it fun, and you'll be successful. You'll be a lot more successful. But that's the poll. If anybody else got any other hurdles or can help people with what they do, would be great. But everybody does it a little different. Always be humble. If they don't stamp their envelopes the same way you do, that's fine. It's still getting there. They don't store their inventory the same way as you do. That's fine. I'm not out here to prove anybody that I got the best system in the world. I just know it works for me. And so far, I haven't not found any cards. And so it's working. Now, if I was having problems, I'd be out there asking questions on there and stuff like that. But thanks again for the polls and participating. Viewer comments. I get these a lot from YouTube and different places. Again, if you put them in YouTube, I consider them public. If you want to talk to me personally, here's my email address right down here, and I try to respond to that as I see it come in. It's you can contact at SMPostcards.com. It'll go right to my phone or my mailbox. And if I do miss you, send it again. I respond to everybody. I'm still small enough where I can do that. I'm not looking to ever not reply to people that send me a message from the channel. But Chris says, sorry for all the questions, but could you tell me what you do with curved cards and warp cards? Number one, questions is what drives the channel. That's what I put this together for, is get a community of people. If I don't answer it, someone else can. But Chris did ask a lot of good questions. Look in the comments. There was a lot of good questions, and I responded to all of them. What do I do with curved and warp cards? Do you try to straighten and flatten them out somehow? Is there a trick? Because I noticed many RPPC cards are curved horizontally. A lot of times what I find with that is how they were stored. They weren't stored pressed together and they slope in the box. My photos have that. A lot of photo paper, you'll get that. I don't do anything with them. If they're really bad, sometimes I'll put in the description and condition statement, warp on card. Card is warped. That's about it. It's paper. It's going to do that. If they want to iron it, they can. But I'm not going to spend the time to clean things and do that stuff with there. And I just send them out. Now in the boxes, when I got those ship haul, a lot of them were really curved because for years they weren't smushed together, squished together so they would stay straight, and a lot of them got that curve. Well, I made sure when I put them in the boxes that I made sure I stuffed that box full so they're flat, and that paper fiber got back to straight, and a lot of them now over a year are straight again. They got a little curve to it, but not like they were. I mean, some of these cards, I mean, they were like this, and now they're just got a little curve. But you're going to find that if they've been stored with that, but I wouldn't worry too much about it, especially photos. RPPCs and stuff that they weren't stored right, thinner paper, you'll get it. But if anybody else that knows more about this can, but I'm not one to go out and scrape album stuff off the back of a postcard to sell it. That goes in the flea market box. Someone else can do that. I got better things to do than deal with stuff like that. But warping and stuff will happen. Trying to flatten them out, I just put them in the boxes and make sure the boxes are really tight all the time is what you want to do. Otherwise they will keep their curve. Some of them will straighten out, some won't. Thanks, Chris. Bit Buffle. I do multiple quantity of duplicates a little differently. I do only list one at a time. So this is talking about if you have 10 of the Alamo, of the same card of the Alamo, how do you deal with them? What I do is I put one listing and they're all the same one, and they weren't, if one is posted and one not, those are two different cards to me. But for all the same unposted Alamo, one listing, quantity of 10. I don't hold back or anything. And Biff says he does it a little differently. I do only list one at a time, but I keep them all in the same sleeve. So he keeps them there, probably turns them backwards or something like that, but when he sees a quantity, when the top card sells, I create a quick sell similar draft to create the next listing. It says your strategy for the Navy cards make a lot of sense, but I think in most cases people will not buy duplicate cards. If buyers know I have multiple copies, they could leverage that knowledge for a lower price. Yeah, there's pros and cons to everything, and Biff brings up one that people can leverage that. And with me, if I had 10 Alamo, yeah, I'll take 50 cents off a card to get rid of 10 Alamo cards because these don't sell that fast. That's what I do with the ship cards. I got way too many naval ships to manage like that. But what he does, like he said, they're not going to buy a butterfly card, elk card, a moose card, a car card, duplicates of the same one on there. Where the Navy ships, they do. They want 10 of the same boat to send to their buddies. So I see the pros and cons of it. And some people say with the, you want to make it look scarce. I just don't have time. They're going to get 10 Alamos up and I'll let eBay count it down. That's the way I do it. Biff does a little different. You might do it a little different. That's fine. But with my time, stuff like that is what I do. But that just shows that other people do that. And thanks, Biff, for letting people know how you do it. And that's all I can do is show you what I do. And people like Biff can show you what they do. And then you come up with what you do. Now, you can copy me or you can copy Biff. We don't care. But that's just shows you the different sides of the fence there. Picnic Postcards. Now, Nick from Picnic Postcards has a YouTube channel he's starting. He did put up a couple what sold whatever's on there. So you want to go out and check his channel. He's going to start doing some more stuff with that. But this is where you want to get on the ground floor of these channels, is when they start and support them so they keep doing things. And we get another way of looking at postcards. But Nick says, found some of these Wiki-Wachi cards, the mermaid cards, in a dollar box at a show and have sold almost all of them. Yeah, they got like a 45% sell-through rate. It's crazy. So if you see those Wiki-Wachi mermaids, get them up and price them up because the demand is there for those. And I think it was Rye went out and bought some off of eBay after he saw my video. But Wiki-Wachi mermaids, especially the older ones, they sell. They got a good sell-through rate. And Nick got some in a dollar box. Oh yeah, I snatched them up. When I was in Brimfield, I bought a half a dozen and they're all gone. They sell. And I see them on eBay, but I don't see that many of them as I would think so. So definitely Wiki-Wachi mermaid. If you haven't seen that video, it's right here. And learn about those cards. When you're looking through the boxes, do not pass those up if you get them for a good price. And just go on eBay and comp them. Wiki-Wachi mermaids. And you'll see what I'm talking about. But YouTube's going to show you a video here that they think you need to watch. It's going to be right here. So just click on it and watch that as your next video. Appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.